Okay, so I've already made quite a few levels in Super Mario Maker, some of which were based on Super Mario 64, others based on old arcade games, and a few others are my own original creations. But I wanted to do something a little bit different for my next one, and that's because one of my other passions are theme parks, specifically Disneyland and Disney World, or really any Disney park. And one of my favorite attractions of any of them around the world of any theme park is Tower of Terror. Specifically the Disney World version. It does such a great job immersing you in the atmosphere, telling a story, and being really fun the entire time. And I wanted to do that here. I wanted to make a level based on that, which tells a story, while at the same time being fun to play through in Mario. Now, if you want to check out the course for yourself before watching me play through it, you can use the code on the screen right now. It'll take you right to it. And I might recommend actually doing that, just because if you're familiar with Tower of Terror at all, seeing it in here yourself, I think might be kind of cool for the first time. But otherwise, let's get right to it. So the Hollywood Tower Hotel is a pretty epic hotel, and what epic hotel doesn't have a gated entrance? So let's go ahead and head on through here. And it takes us to the hotel garden, but this one's pretty overrun. These plants are looking pretty mean. So I'm just going to carefully jump over them here. I mean, this place has been pretty neglected. In fact, the fountain is completely empty. And you can even see the lights inside, although they're cannons in this case. So we're going to carry on through to the hotel itself. And it's a big hotel. You can see how big it is. But it is falling apart. It's completely decrepit. And look, there's even a brick missing here. So I'm going to climb up here and see what this is about. And we actually climb the fire escape. And we can actually see the Hollywood Tower insignia on the building itself, made of neon lights, which is pretty cool. So let's go and drop back down, and let's go ahead and enter the hotel. And see what this hotel's all about. And now we're in the lobby. It's got the arched ceiling. It's got some nice decorations too in the background, even a chandelier on top. And as well as the receptionist desk, or rather the front desk, and which we're standing on, but there's no one here, right? So who cares? Let's go carry on to the next room. And here we are in the library. We got a TV over here, and that's about it. Not much else is going on here, so let's go and head on back. Oh, that's weird. This is a ghost, and he wants us to follow him, it looks like. Just gonna follow him over here. Hey, a secret entrance, alright! Let's go and drop on into the bore pipe and see where it takes us. Oh, of course the pipe would take us to the boiler room. There's pipes, exposed wall, and flames over the place. So let's carefully crawl up here. And this place is falling apart. I don't think we're supposed to be up here. It's like a ceiling area. I'm just gonna drop down here carefully. Avoid those flames. Okay. It looks like we're in the maintenance elevator shaft. So I'm just gonna hop a ride, catch a ride here. Hey, look, there's fellow passengers. What's up, guys? Oh, and they just died! And the elevator just dropped! Oh my god, what is going on here? Oh, this is getting weird. Oh, this is getting really weird. And where are these ghosts here? Are those the passengers? Hopefully they don't hurt us. Oh no. Oh no, where are we going? This isn't good. Hey, we made it!
A warm welcome back to those of you who made it.
Even Rod Serling welcomed us back. Awesome. Alright, well, let's go ahead on through here. It looks like we're at the exit of the hotel. Well, how about that? We actually weren't in any danger at all the entire time, because we are at the gift shop right now. It actually was a theme park ride. And look, you can buy some merchandise there on the shelves, being the Goomba or the ghost version of the Goomba. And there's even a clerk here standing by, so yeah. I was going to drop on to the warp pipe. Alright, cool, we're on top of the hotel. Let's go ahead and head to the right here. Continue on to the exit. I got some coins there. And here is a flagpole. But look, we can't reach the top right here, so there has to be more to this. So there's an odd... I mean, those coins almost look like an exclamation mark. There's a weird gap in between them. Let's go and jump there. Hey, a vine. Oh, what's this? A hidden Mickey? Of course, what Disney ride to be completed that hidden Mickeys all over the place? And in fact, this isn't the only one in this level. There are two more, and I'm not going to show them off. So if you want to find them, you have to go seek them out yourself. And awesome, we made it to the end. And look, there's the fireworks because there's a Fantasmic show behind Tower of Terror in Disney World. So there you go, that's my Tower of Terror level. So let's go and hop in the editor real quick and show you what I did to create it. Okay, so here we are in the editor. So there's a few things I want to point out. There's probably some things you're curious about. So a big part of theme park rides is, again, their immersion, how they tell a story. And they do such a great job at syncing everything to where you are in the ride. So certain actions that only happen when you reach certain points. And that's something I wanted to do here. And that is something that's really tough to do in Mario Maker, seeing as how Mario games aren't usually designed with that in mind. So in order to do that, I had to set up different triggers. So of course, in this room, we have the booth that comes down eventually. And the way I did that is, so you can see he'll appear here in a sec. And the way I did that is, I put a track up here, so he actually spawns up here, and he won't actually enter the screen until a few seconds in. Now, of course, after he enters the screen, he then triggers, or he appears to trigger the blocks that go away that reveals a secret entrance into the next room. And the way I did that is, I added a thwomp up here, also on his own track, on the delay. So he spawns when you enter the room, and he'll continue along the track, dropping down here. And he drops down onto these P-switches just as the boo is passing by. Now, in case you're not now, the reason he drops down is because you're over here, so that causes him to drop 0 beneath him. Now, in the event you're not under there at the right time, I added a failsafe where he'll drop onto the second track, and it'll hold on to him there until you get close to him, and then he'll drop down and trigger the wall. So no matter what, you can get through this area. So even if you're not where you need to be, you can head on through. And of course, failing all that, you can just head back to the door. All right, so let's go and enter the boiler room. And of course, the boiler room is the final part of the ride, or the final part of the queue before the ride. So it is key to get that right. And a big part of the original ride, or of the room, was of course the evident boilers, even made more evident in the California Adventure version of the ride, in Disneyland California, and then of course having the exposed pipes, or having pipes running over the room. So I knew I wanted to replicate those two things here, and of course that actually made it a hazard too. I actually had to add some difficulty to the level. It couldn't have it be a simple ride the entire way. I mean, I could have, but I hate automatic levels. Anyways, so yeah, so another problem I ran into was with a P-switch in the previous level, or in the previous room, it also introduced a problem in the next room where I also have another P-switch. So if you manage to get to the next room fast enough with a P-switch, the previous P-switch still active, it totally screwed up everything in the next room. So I had a ton of trouble in this room, making sure I kept you here long enough so you couldn't actually enter the next room over here while the P-switch is still active. So I had to add a whole bunch more to this room, and that's where I had the idea of actually going into the ceiling. So I actually made it look like, the ceiling's falling apart. You can see the pipe shouldn't be exposed here, and you can actually travel along the ceiling with fragments of the ceiling still above it, or above the pipe rather. So then you travel down and get down here, and then you go through the door, and you can actually see the next room over here, which you can't actually see from within here. So we're going to head on through. Okay, now here we are, of course, in this room, and this is where things get really tricky, but multiple things linked. So first up is the fact that I wanted to make it look like an so the key part in the original ride is it seems like you're on an ordinary elevator at first. You go up and down, and that's typical of an elevator. So I wanted to do that here too. So I made it look like an elevator shaft, complete with a full wall over here. It looks like a normal elevator shaft. And then I knew I wanted to have another elevator next door, because one of the things in the original ride is, one of the stops is you can see what happens to the previous elevator occupants in the ride. And that is the elevator gets struck by lightning, and they turn into ghosts, and then the entire thing drops. And so I wanted to do that here. So to trigger the first event, actually I'll show you again real quick, just in case you forgot from a few minutes ago. So what happens here is, the Goombas drop to their death, and then the elevator drops after them. And the way I did that is I have two thwomps up here again. The one on the right triggers the P-switches, which turns everything into coins, and that causes the Goombas to drop to their death, like how they died in Tower of Terror. And then following that, I've got a second thwomp that travels along a path and bounces back onto a P-switch, onto a POW block, which then causes the coins to drop. And I actually stumbled across that by mistake, because when I mentioned the previous problem I had with the other room, with the P-switch still being active, causing the coins, I ran into this room and realized it caused the coins to drop. And I realized it looked awesome. It actually perfectly replicated the effect of the elevator dropping from Tower of Terror. I'm like, that's brilliant! So I had to find some way to incorporate it here. So I caused a delay in the boiler room to make it so you came here and everything was intact, of course. And then after following the elevator turning the coins, killing the Goombas, or the people in the elevator, then the other Thwomp comes in and activates the second PAL block, or the PAL block set rather, the second set, and causes the coins to drop, and it just looked awesome to me. It did such a great job. Now on top of that, another reason I came up with the idea is actually before I had the idea of making everything drop, is that I had the idea of, I wanted it to... So, okay, so there's a lot to talk about here. So when the elevator turns into coins, this wall goes away and also turns into coins, creating an opening for you. And that's where you then go into the horizontal portion of the ride, which leads you into the 5th dimension, which you know about if you went under the Tower of Terror, the Disney World version of Tower of Terror. So anyway, because I wanted this to look like a normal elevator at first, I wanted it to make a chime noise when you reach this floor again, and before you travel horizontally, because that's when the elevator doors open and you continue on. In order to make that chime, there was no good way to make the chime I couldn't find a good way to make the chime for the longest time. Because if I had it on the actual ride itself here, as part of the environment, like you triggered it, you would trigger it on the way up as well, and it didn't really make a lot of sense. I wanted it only to go off when the elevator doors opened, and you continued onward. So in order to do that, I tied that into the PAL block up here, and that's also when I came up with the idea for the coins here as well to cause that dropped it. So yeah, the elevator chime goes off here at the same time too. So you can see I actually applied the light bulb effect at the same time. So hopefully that makes sense. I feel like I'm taking a while to describe this. Anyways, continuing on. So you continue along the path here. Let me go and catch a ride on this real quick. So yeah, a big part of the Tower of Terror Disney World is you travel along the horizontal portion and you enter the 5th dimension. And that's where all kinds of weird crap happens. And that's what I try to replicate here. And I try to drive that point home too by having, of course, everything goes twisted. I added a visual effect for that. And then you can hear the Twilight Zone sound playing at the same time. And the way I did that is I have music playing up here that mimics the I have the music blocks up here that plays those sounds in sequence. And I want to give huge thanks to Peach Toadstool for figuring this out for me. He's awesome with music. He's created some awesome music levels, which I'll link to in the description below in Mario Maker. And he helped me orchestrate this so it would actually make the Twilight Zone theme, Twilight Zone music as you're going along the track. It really just drives the point home that you're in the Twilight Zone, you're in the 5th dimension, and I'm starting to see all kinds of weird stuff happening, like the things flying by. And then you have these fire bars here, which mimic the doors that open in the Disney World version of the ride, where you would see this awesome effect with these 2 huge doors open, which leads in the final elevator shaft. And sure enough, that's what happens here. You go into the final shaft, then you go up. I added the heartbeat sound effect all along this, which you can see here. I decided to have, in the Disney World version of the ride, you can even see the ghosts in the elevator shaft as well. So I thought it'd be cool to replicate here as well, because they're dead now. They came back as ghosts. And they're also a final hazard too, so it makes them feel like a little bit more like a Mario level. Finally, you drop on down, and you're all safe, of course. You go on to the final track, which takes you to the exit, and then to the gift shop, which I thought was awesome. Now, something else you may see here is I wanted to make the hotel seem really run down. So instead of making it all ground here, which would just give you a flat, featureless appearance, here, in fact, I can show you right now, if I fill it in. So you can see it just makes a flat texture. I decided to add a few normal blocks throughout, which gives it a little bit of depth. It makes it look like the bricks worn down and falling apart, just like Tower of Terror as well. And yeah, there you have it. So if you want to check out the level for yourself, you can using the code on the screen right now. I put a ton of work into it, and there are even more secrets I did not show off here. There's more hidden Mickeys. There's another secret early on I didn't show off. So yeah, see if you can find them all in the actual level itself. So thanks for watching, guys. Of course, if you want to play it again for yourself, use the code on the screen, and keep an eye on GameXplain for more Super Mario Maker, including our own custom stages and other things gaming as well. Thanks, guys. Bye.